So this is day 6 of the Southern Tier ride from the rest area to the exit to Maricopa with a stop in Gila Bend. Now, the alternate route given by Adventure Cycling goes north at Gila Bend, and if you see on the map pictured, it goes up to Buckeye and then up through Phoenix. And if you see the route that I'm taking, I'm going from Gila Bend east towards Casa Grande and Tucson and out to the direction where I live, which is in Florence. The choice is if you want to go through Phoenix and see Phoenix, that's the direction you should be going, is up through Buckeye north from Gila Bend. The other advantage to going that route is there will be a lot of more places in Buckeye to purchase things, whereas the place where I stopped is actually an RV park, and there used to be businesses and stores at that location, but everything was closed, and you would have to take an exit and go down the exit at that location to Casa Grande to find some stores or other services to buy. But you would be able to more than likely find a place to camp at the exit that I ended this at. So let me start this. And I think I stop here shortly. Okay. I think I messed up because I'm showing you video of my wife, and that's not a video from the GoPro. So we're just going through that video, and then we're going to go back and start the GoPro video, which is occurring right now. And you can see the beginning of this ride, the road is in really good shape. And that's going to end soon enough. So the first part of this ride was okay, but it soon became a terrible road the closer I got to Gila Bend, and almost lost my GoPro. The bolt that holds it on the handlebar actually came loose and fell, and I have no idea where it is. You can see there's not much here. And I'm still on a really good road. But we do have a few services along the road here, if you can see from the video. And this is going to be another long day on the bike for me. It's 69 miles and a little over 5 hours, 5 hours and 7 minutes from beginning to end. At this point, the freeway is enjoyable to ride, but you'll see as we get going that a change in the road texture. And if you looked at the thing, you saw where I put up a little sign. This was a very windy day, winds 16 to 20 miles an hour. You'll see some video later that shows really how hard the wind is blowing. The good news is sometimes the wind is at my back here, and so it's actually helping. Sometimes it was a crosswind and blowing across you, and then it became rather bothersome. However, so for the entire ride, uh, I had 1,857 feet of climbing. And if you look at the bottom of this map, you'll see that it's all in the last third of the ride, most of it. So right now, this is basically a flat ride with a few dips and slowly going up, but not dramatically. And this is the typical barren desert wasteland in Arizona without the nice looking cactus. So my average speed over the entire ride was at 19.9 miles an hour, probably due partially to the tailwind I got going up. Uh, the maximum elevation was 1,958 feet, where minimum elevation was 610 feet. And there was a descent loss in elevation of 517 feet. So right now the road is still okay. And we're out in the middle of nowhere. Up here, as we get a little further up here, you'll see the change. And I commented in the earlier video, I don't know if that's where the change from Maricopa County into Maricopa County, rather, the change in the freeway, or it was just coincidence. And it was as I got closer to Gila Bend. Gila Bend, by the way, is a good place for stopping. They had several fast food restaurants, and it was actually quite windy when we stopped and had lunch. But you can see the breeze blowing the bushes when I stop. You can't see it when I'm moving. Now there is an adjacent side road, and if you're not comfortable on the freeway, I recommend taking the side road all the way along here, especially since it gets in terrible condition very shortly. And it looks like there you can see where the road was terrible there. And now I'm starting to get into the bad part of the road. And I think it pretty much stays this way all the way to Gila Bend. I'd be surprised if I see some smooth parts now to the end of the ride. And this is where I for sure would recommend you riding on the side road that is located right next to the freeway, Interstate 8. And right there, I think, is where I saw that my bolt had fell out. And the next time I stop, I actually get a bobby pin from my wife to hold it together. My wife corrects me and says it's a safety pin. So, okay, so here's where she gives me the safety pin. And I use that for the rest of the ride. Now, part of that side road I did notice was in terrible shape, but most of it looked much better than the road that I was riding on. And so, not far up here, we're going to arrive in Gila Bend. That's what should be coming up here. So, this exit is Gila Bend. And we're just going through here again. I'll zoom in as we come through the city, and you can see it's pretty nice. There's lots of services. And we should be stopping right up here somewhere where we had lunch. There we go. So what I have to do is speed this up quite a bit because after we had lunch, I let everything keep running. And so let me start this back up, and hopefully at some point in time we'll probably never catch back up to where I'm at because I just put that way up there. So now take a look, and you can see all the trees and the wind that's blowing. Uh, this is okay. See if I can start this about the same place that we're going. Now, the first part of the freeway ride on the road was rough, but it got a lot better. And this part of the ride, you can see that there is nothing here. But as we get closer to the foothills, um, you're going to see the terrain change dramatically and become much more interesting. Now, as we get higher, the bushes get a little higher, and then you start getting the cactus. Uh, Now, you notice there I said I averaged 19.5 miles an hour. When I added the two together, I just estimated it at that point when I did that. But when I combined the two rides, the computer gave me the 19.9. So you see, it's not a terrible, both of these look about the same. It's not a terrible rise in elevation. It's very gentle. So you can actually ride pretty quick. However, on one of these, I actually stopped for a little while because I was tired, took a break, and then went back at it. It's interesting that the vegetation I'm looking at in the camera versus the map doesn't seem to match up because it's much greater. Uh, I actually like driving through the area where you can see all the cacti and different types that they have out in the desert. Okay, this is undoubtedly where I took my break. So my wife is reminding me that Segura cactus, barrel cactus, paddle cactus, jumping cactus are a bunch of the types of cactus we were seeing uh, on the route. You can't see them as we're going by fast, uh, unfortunately, but it is certainly better than driving by barren wasteland or even farmland, which doesn't have much in the way of visible crops. And as I'm really surprised that you can't see the vegetation better in this video, because it's doesn't look like that at all. As you can see in the actual moving picture, it's very prevalent, especially to the right. And I went through my one bit of shade there. And all I'm doing now is just continually going up in elevation until I get to the top of the hill. Uh, and this road, as you can see, it just got worse right there. Part of this at the very end of the ride was terrible. I got to tell you, and you couldn't really see probably can't see the bumps in the video because they're rounded. But that's at the very end of this ride. Okay, I would guess I'm not saying much. So right here, we're actually, again, I'm going to remind you, I took this particular route because I'm going to take a different route than recommended by Adventure Cycling. And I'm going to go down through Tucson because I actually like that road and I think it's a lot safer than the route they recommended. Uh, Unfortunately, this is a little bumpy. Uh, and so I don't know what to say about that. But I think I'm near the top of the hill on the video on the left and getting ready to go down before I go up. So I'm just going to pause the other video because it is right next to the end of the ride. My wife stops at a truck rest stop area just to see if I want to stop there or go to the exit. And I chose to go onto the exit. And again, I don't know why the road is so rough right through here. Makes no sense other than they don't care for it. But part of it had actually been scraped, which was nice. And they made it really, really smooth. And so I wasn't beat to death through here, even though you can see all of the markings for repairs on the side of the road, and the main freeway isn't. I was thinking I was getting ready to go in the stop, but that's not correct at all, which means I'm not at the top of the hill in the video, and I was on the left. So we'll keep going. You can see what the road's like. You can see the scenery around you. And once we get up to this elevation, you really don't go down much. Most of the valleys down around 13 to 1500 feet. So you're going to go down a few hundred feet and then you go back up to 2000, 2500 when you get into Tucson. So here's the exit where I met with my wife, and we're going to get back on the freeway just to go to the next exit. And we go up a short hill, and then we go down the other side. So if you can see the vehicle bouncing, see how my GoPro went down, and here's the exit we're taking. This is the exit to Maricopa, and the end of the ride is right here. This is an RV park, and these are businesses that are currently not open. Thank you for watching this video. Make any comments you think will help, and again, hopefully you watch the next video. Have a good day.